Welcome to the Tech Talks podcast. Today is another short episode where it's just me sitting here at my computer talking to no one. So hopefully some people listen in so I don't feel so weird about this. You know, I did one of these a few weeks ago, and I was talking about kind of how people are going to return to the gyms after this COVID ban or whatever you want to call it, and how to do that without getting hurt. And over the last couple of weeks, I've been able to get back to doing some sort of work, having some small group outdoor training, getting back to some outdoor sessions with some adults, and with the bans or limitations or whatever starting to ease up, been able to go and see some friends. And the one thing I have kind of been seeing across the board is it just seems like a lot of people are burnt out. It just seems like a lot of people, all the stuff that's going on with COVID and the weird state of the world currently is just really starting to get to people, and especially when it comes to training and eating properly and kind of conducting yourself in the way that you're used to. And I've seen a lot of people feeling guilty and really struggling with that. And again, this is just one man's opinion, and this certainly does not mean I'm right. There's way smarter people out there than me, but really what I do as a coach, I just try and observe behaviors and then think about what's the most logical solution and make suggestions. That's what I do with my athletes and the clients that I work with. And when I do these types of episodes by myself, that's essentially what I'm trying to do for anyone that's willing to click on this thing and listen. So when I'm thinking of this problem of what people, like why people are feeling so burnt out, I mean, obviously it's because this is completely unprecedented times. We've never gone through anything like this before. I don't think any of us thought it was going to last this long. So, that in of itself is going to take a toll on you, and that's okay. And it's about adjusting expectations and just realizing that if you're feeling that way right now, like you're not alone. And it kind of makes sense that you'd feel that way. So first and foremost, it's just understanding, you don't need to be too upset with yourself that you've maybe let a few things go or whatever. Because like you said, we've never been here before, and no one really knows how to handle this. So we're all just kind of learning as how to get through this day by day. But when it comes to training and nutrition and lifestyle and all this stuff that I've really seen people struggling with, to me, it comes to motivation. And this is one of those kind of taboo words. Some people say motivation's everything. Some people say motivation's a waste. And you can go spend all day online kind of searching and reading about different articles or blog posts about motivation and inspiration and discipline and all this stuff. But I don't know if a lot of people know that, like, motivation, there's kind of two prongs to it. So you've got extrinsic motivation and then you have intrinsic motivation. And so when I've been thinking about this problem that I've been seeing with a lot of people, for me, I started thinking, I think where the problem is coming through is a lot of people are extrinsically motivated for the actions that they're taking. So extrinsic motivation is essentially like you're doing something for some sort of reward or to avoid some sort of punishment. So I'll put this in context that kind of makes sense for the people that I work with. They train in the gym, they eat a certain way, they conduct themselves a certain way because they're trying to make the leap, whether it's from university to professional or from high school to university. They're trying to earn a roster spot at a higher level sporting team. And that's why they do the things that they do. So that's part of extrinsic motivation, okay? And then on the flip side of that, you have intrinsic motivation, which is essentially just doing something because you love to do it. So I train in the gym, I eat a certain way, I conduct myself a certain way because I enjoy the challenge and the pursuit of bettering myself every day. Okay, so the same scenarios, just look through two different lenses, an extrinsic motivation lens and an intrinsic motivation lens. And neither is really better than the other, in my personal opinion. I think they both have their place. But where I see people getting burnt out right now is that they were doing X, Y, and Z in their life because of extrinsic motivation, because they wanted to perform a certain way on the field or on the court, or they wanted to look a certain way at the beach, or they were going to go on a trip and they wanted to look like a certain way or whatever. But the way the world is right now, all of those opportunities have gotten taken away from you. right? We're not allowed to play sports. We're not allowed to travel. We're not allowed to do this. So much of what everyone's attached their goals to has been taken away. So now people are left feeling lost because they've attached these actions that they're taking to a certain goal in a extrinsic motivation lens. And that's kind of how they get up and go and do the things that they like to do. But when that reward at the end of the reward or punishment at the end of that whole journey is taken away, you're kind of left in the middle feeling lost. So what I think the solution is not to sound too like woo woo or any of that crap, but really it's just reminding yourself or getting in touch with why you want to do certain things. Like if for the most part you're training to play a certain way in a sport or look a certain way or whatever, take some time and look at the flip side of that. Like, are there other reasons that you're doing that? Intrinsically, what brings you satisfaction? What gets you excited? What do you really love to do just for the sake of itself rather than for whatever type of reward or punishment that you're trying to avoid? So I think just maybe changing your perspective and how you look at this will be really beneficial for a lot of people, because like you said, we don't really know when these things are going to come back in terms of sports or travel or whatever. So if you keep on that path, you're probably going to be stuck in this rut where you're feeling burnt out and unmotivated. So just flip the lens, look at it a little different, and see if that helps. I don't know if you guys like this at all, but these are just some of the thoughts that are going through my head as I'm sitting here having a coffee. So if you liked it, send me a comment, send me a message, or do whatever you see necessary. But thanks for listening along.